What's happening, beautiful Felicia Michaels?
Well, I put up the podcast yesterday, and we put a little bit of the Midnight Mass on it. I did with Danielle Stewart. I wanted to thank her very much again. That was so much fun, and she was awesome in it. And I just been trying to work on a lot of stuff with the podcast. Busy work.
Busy work. I hear you. It was a busy week here too.
Fucking hate busy work.
This fucking surgery is killing me. The fucking Giants. I loved watching the playoffs this weekend. I never watched football. I don't have the patience to sit there and watch a whole fucking game no more like when I was a kid. But I actually got to watch Pontius Pilate, a.k.a. Tom Brady, that bad motherfucker, the Jesus killer. You know what I'm saying? I love him. When I found out, I love Blue Bloods. I love the show Blue Bloods, and I watch it because of Moynihan. She's fucking beautiful. Something about that little Irish bitch drives me crazy. An Irish chick with brown hair has always driven me crazy. Then I found out he dumped her when she was 6 months. I Wikipedia the bitch. He dumped her when she was 6 months pregnant. God damn, that's a cold-blooded move. That's a pimp, superfly hand.
That is a fucked up move.
But he dumped her for the Brazilian chick.
But she's prettier than the Brazilian chick. I like the Brazilian chick, but she's just like sometimes you look at her and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, fuck you.
You could tell she smacks the fuck out of him. She beats the fuck out of him. She's a tough bitch.
Yeah.
But she's banging. I seen her on the set one time.
Cute. Yeah, she's totally hot.
Really?
Believe me, she's hot.
Yeah, I did Taxi with her, and she was on the set the one day, and I was looking at her body. I'm like, yeah, there's something. I don't know if I leave my wife for it because you got to go to Brazil. They're going to kidnap Tom Brady someday in fucking Brazil. They're going to kidnap that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's a little bit scary, that whole thing.
That's scary. He goes down there to Rio. He thinks it's a party. They're going to chop his...
Oh, really? Yeah, he better be fucking careful.
Yeah, you need 7 bodyguards to go anywhere.
Yeah. I know when his wife flies, somebody said they were on a flight with her, and before anybody got off, even first class, they came and got her with a fucking buggy at LAX with 6 motherfuckers and whisked her the fuck off into the daylight. Nobody even seen her in the airport. Angelina Jolie shit.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of back hidden things in LAX and stuff that they just drop you. Yeah. The people that come out in the front that TMZ catches, they're amateurs.
Yeah.
They're amateurs.
Oh, the real people.
Yeah, they have like this thing that you go through the back and the limo pulls right up and they whisk you right away. A lot of people don't know that about LAX. All these guys that think they're bad when they come out and TMZ's waiting for them. You're a punk. You're a punk. You think Clooney comes out to the fucking front? Or Angelina Jolie? Fuck no. They land and there's a hatch under the plane. They just drop them. The pilot just pushes the fucking thing. They come down like James Bond right into the fucking limo. There's a chick sucking dick and they whisk him right into the Hollywood Hills to Charlie Sheen's
There's probably a chick
mansion.
Sucking dick as he's dropped
as
from
he's
the airplane.
Dropping. That's what I would do. That's
holding on for dear life.
People in this country don't realize how fucked up flying is. Like, not the flying, but I used to fly when I was a kid. And the planes have gotten low class. Like, you have to fly to London to get that big flight that's $25,000 where they give you a manicure. But in the old days, all the flights used to be 2 floors. So the regular folks sat on the bottom floor like peasants, and the pimps sat upstairs. And upstairs they'd have a piano, a guy playing a piano. People don't remember this shit. They'd have on People's Express, and then they'd have a pig with a pineapple in his mouth, and you come up and mingle with people and smoke cigarettes. That's how it used to be. One of the first crimes I ever pulled, I was in first class on Eastern Airlines.
I remember this.
I was a little fucking kid, and I went with my mother and stepdad to Puerto Rico. And I went to the bathroom, and there were perfumes. They used to put perfumes in first class that you could open. Before the fucking guy came into the bathroom and give you the towel. Right. Way before that position was invented, when trust was still left in this country. They just put everything in the bathroom. You go and comb your hair, brush your teeth, you throw the toothbrush away. They had all these perfumes. So in the bathroom, I'm like in the first grade, I'm like, you know what? There's about 13, 14 perfumes in the black market. Maybe I got about $30. So I took the puke bag, the bag that you puke in, I filled it in with, and I sat next to my mother with the thing hidden until we got to Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, you know how you run through the fucking airport? I put cologne on and I forgot to close one of them. So the bag leaked. So here I am in Puerto Rico running. And they're like, stop, Jose Antonio. And all of a sudden the bag fell out and all the perfumes broke. And I'm there looking at him. My mother just kept walking. I don't even know this kid. That's where I learned that move from. My mother was like, I ain't responsible for this motherfucker.
You learned that move all right.
Oh, yeah, I'll leave your ass there.
When shit go down, you got to worry about yourself.
People have no
Joey's
idea.
fucking out of there.
They use all that shit to scout. What's that thing when people fuck in the air? What's that called? The Mile High Club? That was invented 30 years ago when you could fuck in a bathroom. Now a guy like me can't even whack off in a bathroom. You don't fit. Who the fuck fits in a fucking bathroom?
The Cuban egg roll doesn't fit in the bathroom?
No, it fits, but I got to keep my foot open, my leg out, so you can't whack off with the door open. They'll throw you off the flight. You know what I'm saying?
Lounge back.
No, you can't bang a fucking
feel the back
good
of
one.
the toilet seat.
In the old days, you could bang one in there and fucking in the seat
off.
and come on that metal fucking tin and leave it there. And some nut will come in and get pregnant. You can have a good fucking time. You can't do that no more on a fucking flight. Flights used to be fucking a party and shit.
Oh, the era of trust.
Well, now that, I remember snorting fucking coke on a flight and everybody have to flight join. Those are can you imagine being...
Well, how about that documentary that you had me watch, the African one where Celia Cruz...
Oh, yeah. They were banging shoes, Soul Power.
Soul Power.
I showed it to Eddie Bravo, that flight.
That. Yeah.
That's when cocaine was different. Your jaw didn't even go from side to side. You could be incognito. Because the cocaine was so strong, it was like I was talking about this a couple of days ago, how the strength has gone down from like when I first seen it, when I was a kid, even the powder, it tasted different. Your eyes got red, like if you smoked weed. Now your jaw goes, you break out. They got all this fucking malook in there, so a brother just can't snort coke without without any further ado, I want to introduce the guy that is my brother. Felicia loves him. I love him. We got him on the fucking show. You've been hearing him giggle. Let's keep it going for Mr. Ralphie. Boom, boom. Where's the envelope, May? You know what I'm saying?
Hi,
there we go and shit.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
it's great to be
fuck.
around Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, fuck. What's happening, brother?
It's
when I
awesome.
introduce you, I always think about Gardner. You know what I'm saying? When we lived in
Oh.
Gardner and I drank all your orange juice.
you came over all jawed up, okay, and I was on a budget and telling me a story. Coco drank all my oranges. I just made it, right? And we were going to have breakfast like respectable people, right? It didn't have much, but, just have respect. Like, have people over, have a little juice, all right? He drank my whole fucking thing of juice. And I'm like, that's my whole juice for the week, dude. All right? And he just drank my juice. And I realized at the bottom, I go, I just made that fucking juice. And he goes, it was a good story, cocksucker. I got to go. All right? And I fucking left. And I'm just sitting there all juice raped. Like, what the fuck just happened on my juice? All right? It was awesome. We were, one time, they were working out front of our house. And they put our apartment complex, Sunset and Gardner, and they put these big metal, this big piece of metal to cover the hole they were working on, right? And I parked my car there, double parked in the red zone in front of the fire, station, which is like illegal, like 5 ways, right? And I was coming around, and I didn't see that metal, that 1.5 metal, and I busted my ass. And Coco's like, Ralphie, where'd you go? Where'd you go, cocksucker?
You know what it is when
you're talking, and then just pew.
When you talk to somebody in the car and you get out, like we parked, and we're like, yeah, you're in the middle of a story.
Right.
So then I fucking told the bitch, hey, fuck you.
So you fell in the hole?
Right.
No,
so
I fell down.
He fell down. So I get out of the car and I'm telling my story. And all of a sudden I turn around, there's no Ralphie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Ralphie. He's like, I'm over here. And he can't get up. And all I see is little legs and shit.
I am a fucking turtle upside down in my shell. And he's like yelling at me and I'm laughing. So it's getting up even harder because he's fucking making me laugh. He's like, Ralphie, you cocksucker, you gotta get up.
Get up because they think I'm mugging you. They think I'm mugging you and they're gonna fucking pull over. And the cops are gonna pull over. You gotta let people know. I've already been in situations where you're helping somebody up and 10 cops around you. You gotta get up. This is Sunset and fucking Gardner.
You're gonna bring the heat. Let's go. Get it together.
That happened to me once. Do you remember a comic you guys probably don't even know? This guy named Ollie Joe Prater?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ollie Joe was a big guy. And the first time I ever worked at the La Jolla Comedy Store, and we had to leave the condo, and we're walking down to get the car and the parking structure underneath. And I'm doing the same thing, like blah, 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 blah. And I turn around, and Ollie is like laying on his back, like smoking a cigarette. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, go get the car. I was like, yay, comedy, yay.
Welcome to comedy, fucker.
Now, go get the car was the time when I got caught eating the chicks.
Okay, let me tell my side of it, okay? All right. This is Bubbling and Dublin's. Jay Davis' old room up on Sunset Boulevard, okay? All right, Coco is the only guy in the history of comedy that bombs for 7 minutes, got nothing, and he had that fucking hand working and sweating. Everybody told me about the set, bombed, picked up a broad while the next guy's on stage, then talked her into going downstairs into the fucking refrigerator, all right, get her blow, right, is eating her pussy on a set he bombed. Okay, she's totally fucking hot. All right, and then continue the story from there on out.
So
okay,
I'm eating her pussy, and I put the Coke rock on her pussy. I said, "Have you ever had Coke on your pussy?" She goes, "No." Let's try it. So I put the fucking Coke, and as I'm going to lick it, fucking they bust in, a Hindu with 2 other bodyguards, and they're like, "We have you on camera," and I put the Coke in my sock. So
it was her blow.
It was her blow. They're like,
and it was her blow.
Yo, please, you know, man,
and it was her blow.
And it was her pussy. So we go upstairs.
I'm not impressed by the pussy thing, but her blow.
They're gonna fucking call the cops on me. Now, 10 years earlier, I would have got rid of the blow. I held that motherfucker for dear life in my sock because I knew the cops weren't gonna take it. There's no charge. You were snorting Coke. The Coke is gone. I wasn't snorting no fucking Coke. We seen you put in a pussy. It's your word against mine. We'll go. You got to search you. Go get a warrant, bitch. And by the time you go get a warrant, listen, we don't need this aggravation. We all go home. So I'm sitting outside. Willie Barcena comes out with Joe Rogan. They're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Listen, they're going to arrest me." The guy's like, "Oh." They're like, "Fuck this." Willie starts talking to the security guard, and Joe Rogan gives me $100. He goes, "When you go down to the station, here's $100. Call me and we'll bail you out." So I look up, and I'm like, "I'm going to go to jail." And I look up, and I see Ralphie coming from the all-you-could-eat Miyagi,
and
right?
the Miyagi's 2 for 1.
2 for 1 in those days.
And
they had
parking.
karaoke.
It was the best deal in the fucking place, man. I got parking 2 for 1. I spent $30. I ate like a king. I'm gonna go do a spot. Jay Davis is gonna give me $40 for it. I'm walking across fucking Sunset, waddling, fucking just high as fuck and sushi'd out to the gills. All right, I see Coco and he's like, "Ralphie, get the car.
Get the car.
Get the car.
Just get the car. Don't ask."
And
he's like, "Why? I got a spot, ABCs. I don't get a fuck. Get the fucking car. They're gonna throw me in fucking jail."
Emergency, like first I thought he was busting my balls. It was Coco, right?
Get the car.
Right, and then I saw the emergency in his voice, and I'm like, right back. Okay, quickly. My car hadn't been gone through the valet yet. It was still at the front. I handed the guy $10. I fucking whipped it around there, got in, and the cops were coming. Get it? Coco jumped and was like, "Hit it, cocksucker! Hit it! And then we went out on Sunset. Then the first fucking right, we were down, and then up Fountain, and then and then up, and then over by the Russian Park. Okay,
Gorky Park. Huh?
Yeah, Gorky Park.
Sunset.
Okay, and then straight to the house. Get in. We've been here for an hour. Okay, that's a story. I got neighbors. Hey, we've been here for an hour. All right, everybody was in on. All right, and then Coco fucking. He's got a huge package. He's got $100 from Rogan. I gave him money because I didn't know what was going on. I got the getaway.
He smells like pussy.
He ate fucking pussy. He had a great fucking night, man. I mean,
And it was all by 8:30.
Yeah,
I was home by 8:30, and the cops were looking for me. Who's better than me? I went out with 0. I came up with an 8-ball, 100, and the fucking cops were looking for me. Who's better? And I bombed. And I bombed. And I had pussy on my fingers and everything. And I bombed. Fucking amazing. And poor Ralphie to this day, he went back and they tried to ban me. And
oh man, it was so funny. Yeah, Jay Davis, I went back over there to see how the coast was, right? The cops were still there. Have you seen this guy? I don't know what you're talking about, officer. All right, and Jay Davis like, "Oh yeah, Joey, he bombed and then like took some broad into the refrigerator downstairs, the walk-in cooler." And I'm like, "That's amazing."
That's amazing.
I go, "That's
like
how good
hindsight.
this room is that a guy who bombs gets pussy and blow." All right, and Rogan was there, and Willie Barcena, and then Dan Cook came in. Oh, all right, and I fucking left. All right, my spot was gone. He was gonna do all the time, and I fucking just left. But it was fucking a great night, man. Hilarious.
You know, it's amazing. I used to live in my car. And this is what people really don't know. You know, you see Ralphie May. After Ralphie May, one last comic standing, and came on the scene. But before that happened, you know, Ralphie was one of us. You know what I'm saying? Ralphie was fighting for his life, and that's what people understand. And he was, like, a lot of people don't know that Ralphie was already huge as a headliner. He was doing great as a headliner. He was already blowing J. Moore out of water. He was just doing so many things, and he just needed that push. But Ralphie was on the same level, and it was so real that Ralphie took care of 10 people. Ralphie always drew bar. He didn't have much, but whatever he had, he broke it up. And I remember sleeping in my car, and I would walk in. He'd be on the fucking bed. 3 bodies would be on the floor, living off him. John Westling and fucking Jody. Yeah. And I would sneak in and take a shit and take a shower because the Comedy Store wasn't open yet. Right. The Comedy Store would open at 9. Then my apartment got towed. The car got towed. Yeah, they fucking towed us. And I ended up living there. And that's what, you know, people don't know. Like, you just popped up one day, but people don't know that for years you were like the papa. You know, Christmas, Marilyn took care of us over her house. She didn't have much, but there was always something to eat. And then on 4th of July, and remember all the people that used to go from Dane Cook when he was nothing. We'd all be over there. Josh Wolf. It was fucking amazing.
Clay would show
Dice Clay would show up. We had great little times on this barbecue, and there was 15 people with $50.
Yeah.
There was always weed, and he took care of so many people. So when he hit, you know, it was just, he took care of so many people. Till today, he feeds 80 fucking people. 80 fucking people.
My barbecues are awesome.
Yeah, he feeds 80 people, plus everybody gets taken care of. And, you know, that's the real part of a winner. It's not anybody can win a contest on stage. Yeah. It's what you do with the belt, and I admire you.
I didn't even win. I just came in second, man.
But you won.
But you know, I won before I even got there. Because man, how many times? I remember you helped me with run an audition. Okay, it was for a movie. All right, and the role was a fat guy that was eating himself to death out of guilt over his mother dying. Okay, that was the role. Okay, Coco's working with me. I'm getting it down. I fucking do it. They go, that was great, but you're too fat to play the fat guy. And I'm too fat to be fat? Ain't that a bitch? That's like telling a Mexican, get a tan, you cocksucker. And I just fucking flipped out on him, and I fucking left. All right, and it was like I gotten so close so many fucking times to having something happen, and it's like, remember 9/11? Remember 9/11? I had just done a concert. That was a Tuesday morning, 9/11. It was real cloudy and overcast. And as soon as it happened, I fucking ran and cashed the checks and got tons of food. And we were living at 1440 Gardner. All right, and I fed everybody because I'm like, everybody's gonna be here because nobody's got any, you know, in Hollywood, nobody's got a home, nobody's got family to go to. I go, they're gonna come here and they're gonna fucking need to eat.
You made a gumbo 9/11.
I made a gumbo. That's right. I started off with breakfast. I made gumbo.
We went to Mike Favorman's, then we went to your house, Rogan, and then Jay Moore was over there.
Yeah, everybody came by, man. And it's like, for whatever reason, my phone could reach everybody in New York. Like, I called Jeffrey Ross that morning to tell him, hey, you're under attack, get the fuck out of there. And he lives downtown in New York City, all right, at the time. He's like, no, really? And I'm like, dude, turn on the fucking TV now, okay? Any TV, any radio, anything, turn it on now. You're under attack, get the fuck out of there. I go, when that shit falls, all that fucking disgusting shit is going to be in the air. You don't want to be around it. It's death, it's people, you're going to get disease. And he's like, no, dude, get the fuck out of there. And then he goes to his door, and Dave Chappelle and his wife and kids are there because they can't get back to their hotel. All right, but I mean, this, like, my phone was reaching everybody in New York, where everybody else was clogged up for some reason. I had the direct line.
You had Sprint, bitch.
I had Sprint.
You had Sprint old school. That shit gets through to anything.
And it was just a fucking, a crazy fucking couple of hours, days. But I must have fed 30 comics that day. Everybody was at my house, and it was just like I was one of the places to come to. And it was just like, fuck it. Then let's eat, let's feed, let's people. Here's a dog to rub if you got, if you're stressed out. Here's weed, smoke fucking weed. I made a little extra money from selling gram bags. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was never a full gram. It was always good weed. I get 32 grams out of my ounce. That's how I was. All right, frugal and shit. All right, and but it was always good weed. And just worked it, man. Just did the stuff that needed to be done. Fed the people, took care of. I mean, everyone needed a hug. Everyone needed someplace to go.
Remember when we fucking used to deep fry turkeys at 4 in the fucking morning?
Yeah, man. Yeah, smoke.
Are you
deep
serious?
Fries a fucking turkey. This motherfucker would go home. He'd bring home Bloody Mary mix from Texas. Yeah. And we'd drink Bloody Mary. I remember one night he was yelling at somebody, and he was standing under the lamp. One of those Chinese lamps that has the beam, and he's yelling at him. And he's like, ah! The fucking lamp burnt his fucking...
My hair started to catch on fire. So his Coco was like, dude, I looked up, and you're yelling, and I'm laughing, and then your hair starts to smoke, and I start laughing harder, all right, because I'm waiting for flame.
It's so weird that for years we always started writing like a script or something because we was going through so many things, but we also had so many laughs at this 1440. I remember one night going over there, and I had this pimple on my ass. Like the crease in my ass above my asshole that I couldn't pop it all day, and I wasn't flexible enough. And it's him and John Westling sitting at the dinner table, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dog, I got this pimple that I can't get. Hold on one second." This motherfucker popped,
and we heard it.
And
pop.
we heard it pop.
We heard it pop.
There was so many fucking things. You know how many people?
And he's like, look at that, look at all that juice. And we were like, oh,
we were dying.
Get out of here.
I just popped a pimple right by my asshole. It was fucking terrible. But you know what, man?
Jeez.
It was.
I remember you were so sad. You go, Ralphie, what? You gotta take me to the impound lot. I go, what happened? They told my apartment. Those cocksuckers. They told my apartment.
Everything in it.
All right.
Everything. And wouldn't let me get in there because I didn't have the title to it or the registration.
Right.
I already owed $8,000 in tickets because I kept parking it with no registration, and the bitch would come hunt me down and give me 2 tickets a day.
Yeah.
I would go out at night, and it had a sunroof, and I'd open the sunroof and put the air on, and I would kick the seat back, and I'd sleep for 4 or 5 hours on either Vista, Sunset, Vista, Curson, or Gardner or Sierra Bonita.
Right. Martel.
It was.
How long did you do that for?
A couple months. And there used to be a library on the corner. On Gardner, and I would at night.
Get in the parking lot.
You could pull into the parking lot and sleep there. People, but it's weird. You remember these things, and you're like, this is what fucking motivates you.
And then you do movies.
How much
stuff?
Everything was in the fucking trunk.
Yeah.
Everything.
Boxing gloves, headshots, reels, tapes, clothes.
The headshot that you used for a long time.
His
girlfriend at the time. My girlfriend, but now my wife, Lana Turner. She took that picture because he couldn't afford a photographer. And Lana used to shoot for the AP, so she's like, hold on. Let's just do this right now, okay? Let's go get you a fucking picture. And Coco's so young, and he's got no gray hair. He's wearing a leather jacket, like he's in like a West Side Story. All right, like once you're a jet, you're always a jet.
Right outside in front of a graffiti, they painted over the graffiti on the wall. They painted over the
graffiti, and it was like stucco. It was all fucked up right in the back of 1440. And Lana came in and she goes, he's fucking great. That guy's gonna be a star. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, he was the easiest to get to model anyone I've ever taken a picture of, a portrait. He's gonna be a star. The camera eats him up, and then 5 years later, he's fucking still in the movie, of this movie or that movie, and it's like
that headshot.
It was the headshot.
It really grabbed you. The headshot's gotta grab. A lot of people don't know how to shoot a headshot. This was such a real headshot because it was done over graffiti being painted, and it was just perfect. It was black and white, so the graffiti was gray. It was just really weird what you see for photography. Sometimes you take photography for granted. I do for a long time, and now I really enjoy it sometimes. Like I look at a picture and I'm like, wow, look at the eye she had for that, or that's amazing how that caught that sun. And sometimes it's luck.
Yeah.
But you learn from it. You're like, oh my God, they think I'm brilliant, but it was lucky.
Yeah, right.
Next time I'll catch it.
My wife was actually brilliant. She's got her degree in it, and she's actually really good. She's a great comedian too, but man, she really is just a phenomenal. I mean, she takes pictures of our babies, and it's like, how did you even capture that? How did you even see that perspective? And it's really nice.
That building is still there. Sweet. It's a complete different building.
Yeah.
But that building had I just ran into a girl that said her boyfriend knew me because he jumped off that building and lived.
I remember that guy.
He was drunk at El Compadre. He got so fucked up and jumped off that building and lived. 3 floors of this, but he lived.
Floors,
he hurt his back or something.
Yeah.
I remember a bum slept outside of Gavin's window, and I was at Gavin's on the phone smoking a cigarette, and I threw the cigarette out the window, and all of a sudden you hear, and we looked out and said, some guy lit me on fire. And later on that night I go outside and he had a blanket on, and you can see where the middle of the blanket caught on fire. He had a big hole in the middle. I mean, this went on for fucking ever. So many people got pussy on that roof. There were so many people in that building giving blowjobs, and it was just crazy. This was something that, and you didn't have anything. You had nothing. We had nothing. Jody lived in one apartment for a while, Gentry.
Yeah.
I mean, it was this house, and you go there now, and Jody lived in every apartment in that building, I think, at this point. From 202, we've had every apartment. We know what every apartment.
Does anybody live there now? Any comments?
Jody Furtick.
Oh,
she's the super of the building. She's the landlord of the fucking building.
She outlasted everybody.
Everybody. She's there for the last. She's got beers hidden all over that fucking building.
There's packages and beers everywhere. It's so funny. My little apartment overlooked the parking lot of a really good apartment complex. Okay, Sunset Curson, and I walked my dog Pim. All right, and I came in, And my phone was ringing, and I'm like, who's calling me this early? They're like, dude, look out your window. Matt McConaughey's outside. And I look out my fucking window, and Matt McConaughey is getting something out of the trunk of his Porsche, okay? All right? And they're like, everybody's looking, all right? And I go, really? I go, yeah. I go, this is just how after he got fucked up and was like, got caught naked playing the bongos, getting high in Austin, all right? And I'm like, fuck it, I'm inviting him in. You're doing what? Fuck it. What do I got to make? I got Cheerios and I got weed. Fuck it. You know, and maybe he likes Cheerios, you know? And so I'm like, Matt. And people are like, stop it, Ralph, you're embarrassing. And I'm like, Matt. And he finally fucking turns around. But he's a dick, right? What? Right? Like, I was just going to invite him for Cheerios and fucking weed. What's going on with that? It's a great combination. And real Cheerios, too. Not no bullshit. I made some money that week. They're real Cheerios. 8 essential vitamins and minerals. And he goes, what? And I'm like, okay, if you're going to be a dick, then right back at you. Hey, I just saw your movie, The Wedding Planner. And he kind of perked up like somebody's going to say something nice, right? And I go, yeah, and it fucking sucked. And 5 apartments are like, that's awesome. That's hilarious. All right, and then Matt McConaughey's like, well, fuck you, because he couldn't see in.
He can't see in.
He couldn't see
the
in,
screen,
right?
so he's looking all around.
Yeah, he doesn't know where it's at, okay? All right, and he's like, fuck you. How many movies have you made? And I go, I made a porno with your mama. Everybody's dying. And they're like, and he just fucking closed his door and fucking left. He just was humiliated. He couldn't do nothing. He was Sonny Black. He had to go.
Hide for fucking 2 years with the windows drawn.
With the curtains drawn.
Fucking guy.
So funny. We had so much fun in that place, man. Saw a ton of drugs.
The girl down the block was the sister to who won the Academy Award for My Cousin Vinny.
Marissa Tomei.
So she would walk the dogs.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei would walk her dogs. We'd be sitting there. Marissa Tomei would walk up.
Walk by.
Down.
Yeah. Remember we were smoking weed out there and she came and took a hit.
Very, very nice. That was the weirdest, eclecticest fuck. And then you had El Compadre, which is Columbia North.
Yeah.
Okay. They had more blow in there. When I first lived in that neighborhood, I lived on Vista with Josh Wolf, who's always on the Chelsea Handler show and shit. I mean, this is the neighborhood we had. And on Sierra Bonita was Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
And on Curzon was Doug Stanhope.
Yes.
So this was 4 blocks of heat. And in Mitch Hedberg's building was Nick DiPaolo. So we see each other all the fucking time.
All the time.
This was a crazy fucking neighborhood.
It was a crew, man.
And somebody else lived that was famous on that street. That had a TV show or something at the time. Shayna Tash lived on the street for a while. She'd come over. It was a very little, but fucking...
Dude, we'd see Leonardo DiCaprio on
Yes!
to the Gills.
Outside of fucking Josh Wolf's building.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first moved there. It was fucking a really...
Gag to the Gills.
Gag to the Gills, right after fucking the movie with the shit.
Yeah, the Titanic.
That was right after the Titanic.
Really?
Titanic
When he was
went
getting
down,
his
but
dick
that
sucked.
paycheck didn't.
Everything. He was getting his dick sucked. If you went to Runyon Canyon, there'd be girls reading lines going, oh my God. What's his name? Leo. They call him Leo. Leo loves
He
was out every night doing powder, getting his dick sucked, sinking bitches, fucking little ships in that monkey. We'd see him getting popping at 7 a.m. Coming. Those times for me. There was a building 1417 North Vista.
Yeah,
and that's where Josh Wolf lived. That was 3 floors of death.
Yeah.
Either you were Russian or you were a drug dealer or a lesbian or a chick that sucked dick. That was the prerequisite to move into that building. And people knew after 3, that was to go. They had a pool.
Yeah.
Always. And the wife
it was the country club.
It was the country
Hollywood
club of party.
Club.
So they went from El Compadre to there. There was a Mexican kid that's a heavy metal guy, and he sold blow by the ton out of that building. I mean, but this is 98, 97.
99.
We were fucking
98,
broke.
97.
Going to what's the place we used to go to? The bar with Doug Stanhope.
The Coaching Horses.
Which is not there no more.
Doug Stanhope.
The Coaching Horses isn't there anymore?
No, this is how we are.
They lost the leash.
Doug Stanhope and I, this is like what I used to drink. He goes, you got no money, right? I go, I got nothing. He goes, come with me. All right, we'll have some beers, we'll have a fucking great time. And just to go up there and have a goof, right? And this asshole was up there talking about how he hates faggots and fucking faggots are ruining the country and faggots are fucking killing it and it's just fucking horrible about faggot this and faggot that and fucking homos and queers and Doug goes, follow my lead, all right? And the guy won't shut the fuck up and he's like, you fucking cocksucking faggots. And Doug goes, yeah, I fucking hate them too. I hate fucking faggots. And he leaned over and made out with me. We made out with the guy. He fucking left, and we drank for free the whole fucking night. That bartender said that guy was such an asshole.
I'm sorry, Ralphie. I'm just trying to tie my head around you and Stanhope making out.
Making out. Okay, hard making out too. It's like, Jesus Christ, like the joke's over. All right, fucking ease up, man. Ease up. But the bartender thought it was so awesome, and Dougie was always trying to fuck her, and she wouldn't give no pussy to anybody. All right, and that we drank for free that whole night because. And then the next night, oh my God, this is crazy. The next night we were there, we closed down the place, right? And there was this asshole who was drunk and tried to keep on stealing people's drinks, right? And Dougie was drinking these Appletinis or some shit like that. It's like crazy to see a cat like Doug Stanhope drinking a fucking ordering Appletinis.
Doug Stanhope drinks Appletinis and makes out with you?
Yeah, Doug Stanhope drank paint that one fucking time.
Exactly.
Doug Stanhope don't get. He mixed coffee and paint.
Exactly. And Dougie was like, "Go fuck yourself. I hate you." All right, we go outside as it's closing up. And this cocksucker was drunk and running across Sunset. He got hit in the turning lane in Sunset and got slung over into the fucking 7-Eleven. All right, in the parking lot right there. He's fucking laying there dying, and everybody's like that. And Doug's like, God damn it, why did he steal all those drinks? That fucking asshole, just a waste of booze. And I'm like, and I just saw it, like, that cracked me, because I was a nice kid from Texas. Like, I was really torn up about this guy dying right in front of me. And then I go, because Dougie's lead, I was like, you know, so it was like the 4th or 5th of the month, and I'm like, somewhere there's a whole a month's worth of rent paid on an apartment in Hollywood, and it's just gonna go to waste. This is a fucking bullshit. This guy's fucking pitiful. I ain't giving him my coat. We were trying to keep him warm. Fuck that. I'm taking my coat back, you fucking dick.
And when they killed the hooker in front of 1440?
Oh, yeah.
The hooker in front of 1440.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There used to be a big hooker area there. That's a big time hooker area there.
Dude, one time
they killed the hooker right in front of them.
There was a pimp and a hooker that went door to door. I talked about this in my first album. Okay, they went door to door selling pussy in the afternoon.
In the afternoon,
and just knocking on the door. Hey, you want to party? And you're like, what? What do you mean? I'm there with my girlfriend. Okay, he's like, you want to party? I'm like, huh? And he goes, well, you want to party? I'm like, what the fuck? He looked up and down the hallway and was like, you want a piece of pussy? And I'm like, what? And it dawned on me, this is a pimp and a hooker selling pussy door to door.
Door to door.
Okay, and it's fucking insane. And then once we told him no, he went down to the next door and knocked on that door. He was like cookies. Like he was selling candy for kids. All right, it was fucking incredible. It was like, is this happening? This never happens to any place. My wife was like, we've got to move. That was the last straw.
I remember one time we were snorting blow. Me and Jody Furley were doing blow in her kitchen. And the windows were open to the hallway to El Compadre. And at about 2 a.m, you hear a black guy go, I paid you $40 to suck my dick, and I ain't getting nothing but teeth. Suck that dick right. Me and Jody were like, we just closed the fucking thing. Like, holy fuck, somebody's sucking dick out there with teeth and shit. That's what we heard, like, just in the hallway there. So what's going on with TMZ? Tell me this fucking story.
TMZ
that weed fucking killed you.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
TMZ made this up on their own?
No. They took part of a story that I had to quit smoking weed because I got sick. All right, weed did not kill me. 2 types of pneumonia in both lungs almost killed me. Pulmonary embolisms almost killed me. All right, weed is not the problem. Okay, I was smoking a lot of it because they asked me how much I was smoking, and I'm going towards the end. About 3.5 to 4 ounces of fucking weed, all right? And they were like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was doing it really good." And that's not counting the hash and the keef, and this is all great stuff. This is all Kushmart stuff. This is all cannabis gold winning cup fucking weed I'm doing. It's another level, all right? But I had gotten sick from no fucking exercise, vitamin deficiency, and fucking a hectic schedule. I mean, like the first 7 months of last year, I have 2 homes. We have one in LA and one in Nashville. I spent a total of 17 nights in my own bed. Okay, I ran myself to fucking death. Yeah. And especially when you're fat, you shouldn't be doing that. So I told them I had to quit smoking weed because I almost died, and they said weed almost killed me. It was the headline. I was like, go fuck yourself, man. That is not at all what I fucking said. All right, it was pneumonia. All right, I got 2 types of fucking pneumonia, viral and bacterial. I coughed pulmonary embolism into my lungs. I almost died. Tampa General saved my life, and it had nothing at all to do with me being a weed smoker, other than the damage I had done to my lungs on the level of weed I was smoking. Like, if you smoke 1 or 2 numbers a day, you're fine, okay? You're fine, all right? Me, I started off smoking an eighth with hash, making the fucking Cuban sandwich, okay? Getting the bong of death, okay? Putting 3.5 grams in a bowl with a gram of hash, started off. That was my breakfast of champions. That and a cup of coffee, all right, got me going for the day, all right? And then from there, the whole day, I'd killed maybe, if I saw cocoa, it'd be a full ounce and a half, okay?
Smoke, man, you know?
All right, and it was no bullshit either. And I mean, I had it everywhere. I had weed everywhere. I had so much weed that I forget where it was.
Come down and go, I found an ounce in my car. Who finds a fucking ounce in my car?
Yeah. It's like I got uptown weed problems, and I would find weed everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, here's a pre-rolled joint. Hey, let's smoke this. Let's do this. Hey, I got this fucking candy. Let's do this. I got this fucking strip. Let's do these strips.
So were you eating a lot of edibles?
I wasn't that much because they would fuck me up too much. Like, I like with the level. The reason I smoked a lot of weed wasn't really to get high. That wasn't the thing, all right? If I did that, I would miss it now, okay? What I did weed for was pain management, stress management, stopping back spasms. Since having gone off the weed, I have to take Xanax for severe anxiety. I have to, I've had 4 different muscle relaxers to try and fucking make my back stop spasming. Now they're on the least narcotic one, the least sedating one, Scalaxin. I'm taking that one. They give me Vicodin, big fucking pill bottles of Vicodins. Big fucking pill bottles, okay? And big pills of fucking Percocets. But I'm allergic to morphine, so it doesn't really affect me. I get almost the same effect. That's why I haven't cracked them. I told Coco, if your knee hurts, I told you this last night. I go, I got pills for you, man. You don't have to worry about nothing. Okay, I got you covered. All right, because I'm not a pill guy. All right, first of all, which is weird because I'm fucking oral. I eat everything. But I had to. I get as much relief from Tylenol almost as I do Vicodin and Percocet. Okay, and they just prescribe them to you. All right. I found out that I have low metabolism due to my thyroid's fucked up, and I had low testosterone. So I'm injecting testosterone like Joe Rogan. All right. I'm taking Synthroid. I'm doing more than I ever have. I've lost 40 pounds since then. But I had just fucked myself up. I had worn myself out, and my lungs were full of shit. I mean, there was a blunt wrap in there from '99. There was half a joint that I smoked with Willie Nelson at KZLA. There was all sorts of shit I was confident bringing up. A nickel that my brother made me swallow. All right, I had everything coming out of my fucking lungs. All right, and none of it was due to weed. It was all due to me being a fucking mess, me being unhealthy, me fucking working. But the pills that I have to take to compensate for weed, every one of them is addictive. Every fucking one of them can kill you and kill people every day. All right, and like I can't sleep. People ask me, why are you on Twitter all the time? Because I'm up. I'm up and it's quiet. It's something I can do and not bother my wife and kids. I can't watch TV. That bothers them. I can't do anything else. And so I either read or I talk to fans. And it's like I'd rather just reach out to people and say hello, Yeah. And back will spasm to where you don't get any rest for like 3 days. And it's ridiculous. It's very painful. I was in a big car wreck when I was a kid, and it really fucked me up. And weed, I'd been self-medicating for 25 years. And it was great. It was great. I felt fantastic. I was normal. I had no fucking thoughts of hurting people. Now I want to hurt people all the time. Okay, I was peaceful. All right, I'm not at all.
How long haven't you smoked for now? 60 days?
It's been here we are in middle of January, late January. Last time I smoked was like the 3rd of October, 2011.
Good for you.
Okay, and I never went through withdrawal. That's how I know weed's not bad for you.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did you ever? Was it hard?
No. I was feeling like I was getting a cold, a chest cold. So I figured I better lay off this shit. My wife's gonna bitch at me. Fucking eat right for a couple of days, drink juice, take vitamin C's. Take your vitamins real good, and you'll get over it. And that was the start of the pneumonia. And then I was flying all over the place, flying fucking everywhere. And I started to get it real bad in Jacksonville. And then through the night, we drove to Tampa because I was going to do this cruise, but I felt horrible. I felt like I had a fever, and I never run a fever. And so I went to an urgent care clinic, and I was going to go they gave me, he said I had walking pneumonia, and he gave me 7 pills, Levaquin, and an inhaler, but he called it an inhaler. All right, because he was a Vietnamese doctor. All right, and I was getting on a cruise ship from my radio buddy, Cowhead. I don't know if you do Tampa radio. Do you ever play Tampa?
Yeah.
Okay, Cowhead is amazing radio, fantastic radio. And he does a cruise, and I get there, and he's like, bro, you shouldn't even go on this fucking cruise. You look horrible. And I'm like, well, hey, good morning to you too, fuckstick. And I go, I've got my 7 pills, and I got my inhaler. He goes, what did you say? It's a long story. All right, and I went on this cruise, and I spent 5 days cooped up in my cabin because I thought I was going to be patient zero. Like, I had the shit that was going to fucking bring down the rest of the world. And I finally called 911 on the ship to take me to the infirmary. And when the lady checked my vitals, when I got to the infirmary, my heartbeat was 250 beats per minute. My blood oxygen content level was 62%. My lips were blue.
Oh,
okay,
geez.
And she was like, "How are you conscious?" But her first word to me, she was a nurse in New York. Her first words to me were "fuck." Okay, and then she told the Filipino lady, "Wake the doctor." Okay, and then she's like, then that's what she told me. You have to calm down. Okay, you're about to fucking die. All right, you cannot die on me. Don't die on me. All right. And then the ER doctor, she was the ER doctor from Walter Reed, and she was on my cruise ship. All right, and she comes in, and her first words when she sees my vitals are "fuck," and she orders IV drugs and everything and oxygen, all the oxygen they have, and they want it. She says, "I want to fly you off the ship, but there's a hurricane between us and Tampa, and we can't get you off the ship." And so you just have to stay alive. You can't move because I think you have blood clots going into your lungs, and you definitely have full-blown pneumonia, and you have to just breathe. You have to work on breathing. So I spent 11 days awake just working on breathing, and I get to Tampa General, and they saved my life. They kill the pneumonia, and they get rid of the pulmonary embolism. But man, when they moved me to ICU and I had a major pulmonary embolism move into my lungs, it felt like I was being stabbed through my shoulder into my lungs. And my wife was there, and she's all panicked. And I'm a father of 2 young babies, and I got my wife, and I've got the world by the balls, and I don't have anything at that point because I'm about to die. And the head of pulmonology that's a lung doctor at Tampa General, he goes, "Mr. May, you have right now a pulmonary embolism moving into your lungs." So it's like I'm getting stabbed, and my oxygen content went from 92% into the 50s, and it was pummeling. And they put me on a CPAP, which is like a Top Gun mask, and they're blowing oxygen into my lungs at 50 miles an hour. And they have a nasal thing that's giving me an additional 10 liters of oxygen, trying to put any oxygen in me at all. And he goes, "Tomorrow morning I'm going to have radiology come in here at 7 a.m. and we can't knock you out, so it's going to hurt a lot." and we're gonna cut you open and go in through a vein in your neck and down into the main vein that comes up from your legs, and put a filter in to catch all the blood clots that your body's making right now. You've coughed blood clots that go into your legs. They make bigger blood clots down there. Then they're being shot up into your lungs, and your lungs are shutting down. And then they're going to go through your vein, and they're going to find the blood clots and blow them up with chemicals. And if they get them all, you'll live. If they get them fast enough, you'll live. And if not, you're going to die on the table from brain bleeding. And my wife asked him, what are his chances? And he goes, 20 to 30%. And she goes, of dying? And he goes, no, of living. And we'll do that at 7 a.m. And at that point, it was 1 a.m. And a respiratory therapist came into the ICU unit, and my wife was freaking the fuck out, which she should have been. And she was going crazy, and this guy was like a biker. He had a ponytail and he should not have been a respiratory therapist. He did not look the part. He looked like a biker. And he goes, "Don't worry, we're gonna have him sleeping like a baby by 3 a.m." And then he came over and whispered in my ear, and I kept on thinking, this motherfucker is talking to me like Clint Eastwood talked to 10 Bears in The Outlaw Josie Wells. Like, he goes, "Look, motherfucker, you're gonna die. All right? If you make that little girl a fucking widow, I'll fucking kill you. All right? The next step, if you don't work on breathing every breath, is I'm going to put you on a vent, which I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to paralyze you. I'm going to shove a tube down your throat and pump air into your lungs. Fucking breathe." And the way he said it was like, and I worked harder than I ever had. And for that 6 hours, my wife, they semi-sedated her, and she's freaking the fuck out. And I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. So I composed letters. I composed a 5-page letter to my son about, he's 2.5, what it means to be a man. And I wrote a 5-page letter to my daughter, who's 4, what it means to be a strong woman. I wrote an apology to my wife for being a quitter and not taking care of myself. And I wrote all my I love yous and I thank yous. And I wrote to Joey, and I wrote, just long list of people. I wrote, just everybody that fucking helped me and did nice things for me. And I got it. And before I went into that operation, I was going to hit send to all those letters and send them out. And, Felicia, when you're at the end of your life, they say your life flashes in front of your eyes, and it's you think it'd be the big moments, the happy things. Not me. For me, it was nothing but regrets. It was all my regrets. It was the sonogram I missed of my little girl because I was making people laugh in fucking Cleveland. Or the time that I missed, I had to see video of my son walking, for the first time. And all these things I missed because I was trying to be the best fucking comedian instead of being the best husband and best father. And it was just life-changing, you just have this event, okay? And none of which was caused by marijuana. It wasn't marijuana that fucking
TMZ.
Fuck you, TMZ.
TMZ been fucking with you for years now.
For years.
What about what the Jerry's Deli? And they're like, "Stop, Gabriel." And said you was Gabriel.
Gabriel,
those
Gabriel
motherfuckers.
Are you serious?
Like, Gabriel, what do you think?
They been fucking with right, dummy.
The fuck?
I'm fat too, but I'm not
fucking TMZ.
So how long were you? So you weren't sedated during the operation?
I didn't have to have it. I worked so hard through the night that the drugs took effect. I was a very lucky person. I don't have a defect in my heart. I have a very strong heart. I have it's not enlarged, which it should be. They did all those tests on me, and I worked through so hard through the night breathing. When that guy told me, I opened my lungs up, and the drugs got to work, and they dissolved the pulmonary embolisms, the blood clots in my lungs. And I was in ICU and on that breather for another 4 days before I got moved to a mask. And it was just, every day they were telling me, "You're getting stronger, you're getting better, but you're no means out of this. You could take another turn. Just like I had been feeling better in ER. You know, my blood oxygen content level was in the 90s, and I was like, we're gonna move you to ICU overnight, you know, to make sure you're okay. And then I was there for an hour and a half, and my wife was about to leave, and this fucking big major blood clot goes into my lungs. I mean, that's the shit that killed Heavy D. You know, if it goes into your lungs, you have pulmonary embolism. If it goes into your heart, you have a heart attack. If it goes into your brain, you have a stroke, right? And it's like I'm hearing about my buddy Patrice, who had a major stroke and he's about to die, and I'm hearing about all these people that are sick from the same thing that I have, and it's like, why? And then you feel a certain amount of guilt, you know, like, why did I live and they didn't? You know, how lucky am I that I was in Tampa General, that I had the head of pulmonology was on call, that he took a chance and adjusted my medicine and gave me so much medicine, blood thinners, that it would have killed most people, but I had a strong enough heart. I shouldn't be fat and alive. I should be dead a long time ago. All right, and the doctor told me, he goes, it was your own will to live is what saved your life. You know, we did everything we could as doctors and nurses and respiratory therapists and everything, but your desire, your ability to stay awake and consciously breathe deep for 11 days is what saved your life. You know, you wanted to live for your children, and your wife did it. He goes, but your days of smoking weed are over. Your lungs are too weak. You've worn them out. You have, you know, every one of those little embolisms is a dead spot in your lungs. It's gotta regenerate. Your lungs are really thin. They're only like 1 or 2 cells thick, so oxygen goes in between them, and you've killed portions of your lungs, so you can't smoke again. Because I'm not saying you can't use weed again, but as far as smoking goes, you can't do it. You can't be around it. You certainly can't at the levels you were doing. But even a joint could make you cough so hard that you have a stroke, and that you break more blood vessels, because that's how you got the pulmonary embolism in the first place, was coughing, you know, from the pneumonia. And none of it was caused by weed, not one of it, except for the fact that I just wore myself out because I was in pain, you know.
How long were you in the hospital for? 9
days total, 7 in ICU. And then as soon as I got out, I was at doctor's office every day. The doctor, I had to move in with my mother-in-law and father-in-law for 2 months. They took us in because I couldn't fly and I couldn't be in a car for more than an hour.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, flying, how does that affect it?
It did at the start. Like I was on 2 months where you couldn't fly at all, and luckily my in-laws live in Sarasota. You know, that's where Jews on the Gulf live. They go to Sarasota, all right. And I moved in with them, and they were so sweet to bring us in. A big house, and it's a lot, you know. First of all, you know, it's your daughter and her children, but it's also the fat son-in-law that you don't really care for that much. You know, I came in, and my mother-in-law had for years not cared for me that much, you know, gave me static, you know, even after I made it and after I'm providing for a daughter, she still gave me static, you know, that I was a douche or something like that. And I came there a son-in-law, and I left a friend, and it's really nice. That was a really good thing about this, is that I got to be friends with my in-laws. And but my mother-in-law, poor lady, she's had so many health problems, and she's a touch of a hypochondriac to boot. But so she was so tied in with the medical group in Sarasota that the first day they got me a doctor, which that never happens. Usually have to wait 2 weeks, okay? And Sarasota, everybody's dying. They all got one foot in the grave, another one a banana peel, all right? And the guy's name his last name was Gonzalez. His first name is Darsham Gonzalez, okay? Which, because he had 2 Z's in his name, none of the white people at this clinic wanted to go to him. They're all old white people. Like, so I'm sitting in this room with, like, I'm easily the youngest person by 50 years. It's like, holy fuck, all right? What, am I in the right doctor's office? And this guy's a young guy, and he takes me and does all the blood work on me. And that's where I find out that, you know, he got deeper than just the peripheral blood work. He wanted to know what my hormone levels were, and that I had low testosterone, And so he goes, your metabolism is so low because you have low testosterone, you have low thyroid levels, and your metabolism is low. All right, and then you add weed to that. Weed has an amazing amount of estrogen in it. So I wasn't making enough testosterone, and then I was adding a lot of estrogen, and it was fucking me up hormonally. Hormonally. Thank you. I'm sure you have to do that often. We butcher the language. Okay, we butcher.
Let me ask you this: so, how has it changed your life other than smoking weed? What's really changed? That I have to get to reality. For 25 years I've been medicating, anxiety and pain, and I have to get to reality. The reality is I'm a fat piece of shit, and I have to work every day on it. The 2.5 months that I hardly worked at all, I got closer with friends and family, and I was crazy. My children come to me now instead of being, working all the time, and their mother would bathe them, and they wanted mama to read to them. Now they want daddy to bathe them. Now they want daddy to read to them, and that's amazing. That's wonderful. I was always jealous that they went to my wife, and now they come to me. They come in and they want me to take them to the potty, and they want me to change them and help them pick out their clothes, and that my daughter brings me a brush and wants me to help brush her hair, and my son, we throw the football and we go play catch until he gets tired of it and wants to go pick up rocks. He's 2.5, Mm-hmm.
And I'm teaching him. I get to teach them, funny stuff, like we go to a restaurant and they go, what do you want to drink? And they go, champagne cocktails, all right, from The Godfather 2, all right. And then now we were in Miami, I did this event for my buddies on radio, Paul and Young Ron, and we bid on staying at the Eden Rock in Miami, which is a great hotel, magnificent. And so we got a suite and a room, and for like 5 days, and dinner at this great restaurant, and spa treatments and everything, like a doctor for almost no money. It was so cheap. All right, my son and my daughter, I'm teaching them like that speech from Godfather 2 where he goes, mi familia no mangia Nevada, mi familia no mangia in Miami with that Jew, Hyman Ralph. All right, and my kids are screaming that, mi familia no mangia Nevada, all right, mi familia no mangia, and my kids are Jewish, all right, in Miami with that Jew, Hyman Ralph, all right, and they're screaming it, and people are like turning like, what? All right, and my son August, he barfed and closed the pool. We were those people. Like, it was like the hillbillies took over the fucking Eden Rock. Everybody's in their, they're all European. They're all speedoed and sunglasses at night and shit like that. And my
and
son
then Ralphie May and his family.
Yeah, and then we come in, okay, and I'm enjoying every pool. I'm having a blast. I throwing my kids around. We were at Singer Island. Oh my God, at West Palm. I did. My first gig back was New Year's Eve at West Palm, and I'd done some practice gigs at the Tampa Improv, and my buddy Cal had sold me out. But
But let me ask you this: were you nervous about going on stage again, or were you at all nervous?
What happened, Felicia, is that I just recorded a new album October 1st, and all this shit happened to me, and like every now and then when I was in this whole thing about the cruise ship and getting the pneumonia and everything, I was cracking jokes, and my oxygen levels would drop, and they were like, why aren't you staying steady? And one nurse figured it out. He's laughing at his own shit. Like, I was cracking jokes, like they put me on the CAT scan, right? All right, and it's almost as important now as blood pressure now. CAT scan, a full scan of your body. All right, they wheeled me through that thing. All right, I fit. Okay, just barely. They go to turn it on, and time, They hit it again. Ooh. And I'm like, is it done? And they're like, hold on, Ralphie. And I go next door, and I'm 12 pounds over the weight limit. Okay, so the machine wouldn't work. And I'm like, 12 pounds? So one of you fucksticks come in there and just hold up just one little edge a little bit. Give me 4 balloons to hold on to. Come on. Let me take, But I was laughing because it looked like they were putting bread into an oven. Okay, it's what it looked like because I had my shirt off and I'm laughing. I'm on the stick. There's like a little bed, the sliding bed. This machine's had enough. I was like, fuck, I can't read him. All right, and when I got on stage, I just told people what happened to me as a form of therapy. Like, I was going through all this shit, this near-death experience, and I ended up doing an hour. People are like, you did an hour and 45 minutes. And my wife's like, I've never seen anything like it. You just went up there and killed an audience. You made them laugh. You made them cry. You did a brand new hour and 45 minutes that I'd never heard you do, and you just said everything. How do you do that? And then she's a comic, and she goes, and it fucking makes me fucking furious that you can go out and do an hour and 45 and you've never said a joke before and you get a standing ovation. Go fuck yourself. You're such a dick. Okay? I mean,
I understand her emotion.
Yeah, and she goes, it just fucking makes me crazy. How dare you? And I was working through, I think I have post-traumatic stress disorder from it all. That's what's crazy, Felicia, is that I think that I'm fucked up. I just had a sleep study last week in Nashville, and they want to see if I had sleep apnea. And I could have scored on like 170, 1 to 170, and I scored a 9, which means I only have one event per hour or something like that, where just you have to skip a breath or something like that, and so I'm not even on a machine, but the being hooked up and having stuff in my nose again, and my breath being measured, and being in a hospital environment again, I felt like I was going crazy. I have all this stuff from childhood and anxiety and stuff like that I would deal with weed whenever I would get freaked out, that I can't anymore. And I have to deal with life, and it's fucking scary. It fucked me up, man. I mean, I've talked to enough vets that, when they come home, they drive different, they think different. And I didn't have that event. I didn't have a bomb go off, but I almost died. And I think that's the thing. You're close to the edge. And I was better mentally in the hospital and at my in-laws' house to when I was all by myself in Nashville and going to the doctor. I spent 5 days awake. 5 fucking days. And I'm working out. I'm doing these core workouts where you're on all fours, and you if you hold your right arm out and your left leg up for 10 seconds, and then you do it the other way, and I don't know what they're called, but it's fucking horrible. All right, I hate it. And I was just trying to wear myself out, and I couldn't go to sleep. And none of I would take Theraflu nighttime, nothing. Sleeping pills, nothing. Xanax wasn't working, and I couldn't go to sleep. And the doctors were like, "What is happening with you?" And I go, "I'm freaking the fuck out." And that's why I want to talk to a psychiatrist and try to figure this drama out that's going on in my head,
Yeah.
But I know that all the pills they gave me to take up for weed, none of them were working. Where weed worked, everything. Okay, weed took care of the pain. It stopped the muscle spasm. I was able to sleep. I never had anxiety. I was never anxious, never fucking anything like that. That was all fine. All right, but now I have to deal with life and reality, and it's fucking nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, be responsible. I just get up at night sometimes and go make sure my babies are okay and go readjust their blankets. And my wife's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm up. I'm nervous. I want to make sure the babies are okay. I want to make sure that this is reality. I really don't feel, since I've stopped smoking weed and gone through all this shit, that this has really happened. I think that I'm going to wake up and this is all going to be different. And it's very strange to be at that point in your life that reality doesn't seem real. The other stuff seemed more real.
Yeah. Have you cut down your work schedule?
I have, and I had to readjust to where no flights are over 2 hours, and where the drives are 3 or 4 hours, like stringing along concerts. Up on the East Coast, I'm doing all March. I'm on the East Coast, and you know what? When I cut back weeks, like I built into the system, weeks to be off, to be with my babies, and to enjoy life a little bit more, the money went up. The money went through the roof, and it's like, why weren't you cocksuckers doing this when I was doing a Tuesday in Columbus? I mean, a Tuesday in fucking Dayton, and Wednesday in Toledo. You assholes. It's like when I was bouncing around all the country and I could do it. The money was great, but now it's like even better. Like I would never spend 3 weeks in Southern California just working the peripheral clubs, the improvs, the Ontario, the Brea, and Irvine, because I always thought it was a sham. They pay you in-town money, and it's not in-town money because I have to drive 2 hours to get to fucking Irvine. 2-hour flight from Nashville. I'm in New York City. All right, 2 hours is 2 hours. If I'm not with my children, it's still the same 2 hours. It doesn't matter if I'm in a car sitting on the 405 or I'm on a fucking plane flying to New York. 2 hours is 2 fucking hours, and it's just annoying. It's just annoying that because you're LA act, they throw the money down. They lower it down on you because it's quote unquote in town work. Go fuck yourself. It's not in town work. It's very much out of town. If I'm not sleeping in my bed, fuck you. Okay, I don't want to. People ask, would you do this for $100? Give it to somebody else. It's not the money. If I want to do it, I'll do it for free. Okay.
Do you think anything else could have happened to you at that point other than having an issue with your health where you would have came to that conclusion any faster? Did you know I have to slow down pretty quick, or did you understand that you were running yourself down?
No, I wasn't. I was too oblivious. I mean, if I was really observant about my health, I never would have allowed myself to get to 800 pounds at one time. If I had been observant about my health, I wouldn't and thought that I wasn't Superman, I would never have the work schedule that I have. Coco's been yelling at me for years. Don't fucking work Sunday through fucking Thursday. Fuck them. You work Thursday, maybe once in a while, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're fucking home. Fuck you.
Here's the deal. We start off as comics. How many doctors are there in the country? How many comedians are there? So when you're first starting out, Felicia, you said it, they were sending you on 8-week fucking trips. And it's great. When you're 20 and you're 30, you could do them. I know for a fact that when I was 418 pounds, I'd go out for 2 weeks and I'd be exhausted. I couldn't deal with it, and I knew it was my weight and my health.
But it's not. I mean, it is a weight thing and your health
right, no,
thing,
your health.
But
it weighs on everybody.
It weighs on everybody. Healthy people just as much.
One of the best conversations I ever had was with Dane Cook. Dane Cook really simplified things for me 15 years ago. At the time, the Houston Lap Stop was the hottest club in the country.
Without a doubt.
People were killing to get to the Houston Lap Stop.
Yep.
And he had just worked it, and he did great. Babbitt called me and said, this kid Dane Cook? And I seen him on a Monday night. And I go, what'd you think of Houston? And he looked at me and he goes, it was great. It was just too long. And I looked at him and I go, people kill to stay down there for 10 days. Right. Wednesday through Sunday was too long. And he goes, it was just too much. I got to figure out how to consolidate that. Yeah. And next thing you know, he's doing theaters.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He had a thought. And I always admired that. And we could do comedy. If you let us, we can do comedy 48 nights in a row. I've done it already. I've done it to the point where, I'm going to take the night off, and all of a sudden Scott Day's calling you at 11:30 spot. Right. And you're like, well, I was going to take tonight off. I guess I'm not. If you let us, we'll go, Felicia. You know this. We'll go. If I throw money at you, never mind $1,500 a week, and you got to get your own plane ticket, we're going to go. Never mind money, you're going to go. You got caught up to whatever anything else. All I ever said to you was, I told Rogan the same thing, and he giggled at me. I go, bro, when you have kids, that Sunday show ain't gonna work no more. Man. it ain't gonna work no more.
Yeah.
All those hours become something.
Yeah.
Rogan could stay out all night. We could fuck around and eat, not drink, eat till 4.
Yeah.
That's 3 hours of sleep. When you get home, your kids don't know nothing about comedy and standing
No. Yeah,
ovations.
no.
They don't know nothing about that. So when you walk in Sunday, they're like, hey, and you're like, I'm fucking wiped the fuck out. I slept 3 hours, did 4 shows, carried luggage, ate, hung out, smoked dope. And after a while, you gotta go, okay, I gotta avoid that. You know what? I used to drive that. I'm gonna fly it.
Right.
You know what? I used to work. I know it's worth the money, but that money is not worth my family. Putting my
it's not
kid
worth
to sleep.
my family.
Putting my health.
It's not worth the missing sonograms. It's not worth.
Nothing is worth it.
It's nothing worth it. You know, my wife, ostensibly, you know, for the first part of last year, was a single mother. And it's too hard, man. It's too fucking hard. I got her a nanny. It's too hard. It's too hard with a nanny. It's too hard with a nanny.
I remember when my little guys, because they were 17 months apart, when they were that young, like I lost all sense of time.
Come on.
Yeah. You
must have been freaking the fuck out. Yeah.
And you're an artist, and you want to do, and you've given up 2 years of your life to make babies, okay? And you're a comedian, okay? You're the same thing, okay? That's why I like you. I told you that time at the first time we met was the first time was at the Laugh Stop in Houston in 92 or 90, 91, 92, right after the Playboy thing. Okay.
Right. That's when I did my first CD there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a fucking awesome club.
It was an awesome club. Okay, and you crushed it. And we met there, but everybody was around you and stuff like that. So I'm like, let her be a star. You know what I mean? And you weren't blowing me off. I was like, let you have your piece. But when we met at and we started talking, was at the Improv.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we were talking and having a great time, and what I loved about you is the same thing I love about my wife, is that you're artist and you're confident and you're smart and you're funny women. Okay. And y'all have the same thing. You had to give a year off for your career for each child, and then every night you have to make a decision. You have to get yourself together, but you also have to take care of 2 babies, bathe them, dress them, read them stories, because the nanny can't do it. I don't care what nanny you get, they can't raise your kids like you raise them, okay? And then you got to do it by yourself, because your husband was making sure fucking Attell was had his hand held, and so your spot gets compromised at Largo, or in my case, because I'm making people laugh in fucking Columbus, Ohio, my wife's gig gets fucked, and so she has to tell a booker how she can't do it because she's got to be a mommy.
Well, for
how
me,
demeaning that is for
I
a
know
woman?
exactly how demeaning that is. And with me, 9/11 happened, and I was like, what the fuck? My second one was, he was like, I was going to go back on the road. I was going to wait 3 months and go back on the road. And then 9/11 happened, and I was like, fuck this. Like, I've already seen every mall in the fucking country. Why? I have kids. I can't be on a plane.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine you 2 guys as you're driving to the airport. I have a wife. But as I'm driving to the airport, I have horrible thoughts of what could happen these 3 days. I mean, it's just me. It's just who I am. I have horrible thoughts of, I'm not going to see Felicia. I'm one of these people, I can't imagine you 2 driving to the airport on a Thursday morning.
And thinking about your babies.
Thinking about your kids.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do?
I'm going to be completely honest with you, though.
Yeah, here you go.
Sometimes I look forward to it.
No, Felicia's got 13s and 12s. And
Well, it's a lot easier, to be a comedian, just go be a comic, It's like, this is my piece, because telling jokes is not what they pay for. They don't pay any money for the fucking jokes. For me, it was always about not sleeping in my bed, not hugging my wife, not smelling her hair, not my shower, my bathing
There's
my babies.
no way you're going to eat correctly on the road.
Yeah,
There's
you can't fucking sleep.
No way.
You cannot do it. The sleep is different. It's a bed.
You're in a hotel room,
you live in L.A., you're
and
used to
they
going to bed at 11.
Yeah.
That 11 is 1 o'clock on the East Coast, or 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
So now you get to the East Coast, and now it's 2.
Right.
And you got to do radio at 6, and that's it. That's how it starts. Now you owe on them. Now they have radio in the afternoon, so that 3-hour nap you used to take, you got to take an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
Now
and
you
that's
go,
why
and now your buddy
I'd
shows.
I'd smoke weed and just be able to go right to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay? And like spend 5 minutes instead of an hour looking up at the fucking hotel room. Any hotel room I would make comfortable, because I would be stoned out of my fucking mind, and and these hotels that they would, some clubs put you in great places, and some put you in the cheapest shit they can get, and they go, this is the best we've got. And go fuck yourself. It's not the best. It's not the best, okay? Hampton Inn is the best, then I shouldn't be playing this place, okay? You just told me everything I need to know, okay? I need to fucking yell at my agent, okay? If this is where I'm staying, then I don't need to. Hilton Garden Inn, very nice, great, nice people. I like the little pantry, all right? But your beds suck a dick, okay? Your towels suck. You need more water pressure, okay? I don't need the fucking nozzle at my chest. What midget designed this fucking place?
Oh, they put us in a handicap fucking room,
go fuck yourself.
For the $48.
Yeah, and the high toilet, like I need a step stool to drop a deuce. Are you serious? It's fucking retarded.
I gotta tell you something, Ralphie. This podcast is about second chances.
Yeah.
And me and Felicia have done 70-something episodes, and today was one of the most profound things I heard. And for anybody who listens to this podcast, I hope you listen to the part when you talked about that as you're dying, you don't think about the things you do, you think about the things you don't do.
Man, Coco,
and that is,
it was never about the fucking albums. It wasn't about the standing ovations.
It's,
it wasn't the pieces of pussy. It wasn't about anything. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the birth of my children. It wasn't the marriage to my wife. It was the shit I missed, dude. That I was either wasn't around for, too fat to do, too lazy to do. I told my wife my birthday's in a month. I'm walking because I want to walk up Runyon Canyon. Because I've lived in LA for fucking 14 years and I've never gone up Runyon Canyon. Well, fuck you. I'm not going to be around forever, okay? I always thought that would be around forever, and I would be too, and I would get around to it. And I hadn't got around to it in 14 fucking years.
So we're going to walk Runyon Canyon.
We're going to walk Runyon
Canyon. In 3
Canyon.
months, we're going to walk
really?
Runyon. We're going to do the Beauty and the Beast Runyon Canyon trip with a camera. That's it. So you motherfuckers...
That's a great idea.
Heard it fucking here. Hopefully, we'll do the
walk,
fucking all of us.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ralphie will be better. Ralphie, I gotta thank you for coming on today.
So
it was a
much.
surprise.
I love you guys.
I love
this
you
is
for
so
coming.
impromptu. This is how we used to do things.
I knew that we get something from this, and that's what I was saying. I want the people that listen to this, that listen to the words he said, just fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
Live your life,
do it, because it's true. As you're going on, I always think about that. Your last day on earth. The Buddhists believe that you lay around for 3 days. I think God does the paperwork a week before, and you pretty much know it. After you're gone, you're like, I should have known a week ago. He gave me a fucking sign.
Right.
And what happens? What you think about it? I never looked at it that way. You're laying there going, God, I did this, and I did this, and he's gonna say, you know what, bitch, but you never went to that piano lesson you were supposed to go to when you were 4.
Right.
It's fucking amazing, and I thank you. I'm touched. Felicia, you bad fucking blonde bitch. What do you got to tell these motherfuckers today?
Well, I just want to say, why don't you go to iTunes and give us a nice little review if you like the podcast today, because that helps us get up in the numbers so that more people can listen. If you would like to email us, absolutely do email us at beautyandthebeastpodcast@gmail.com. And also a new feature that we're going to have on our website is going to be an Amazon banner. If you are going to buy something at Amazon, which you do, just do us the big favor. Click on the Amazon banner on our website. Do your regular shopping. It just gives us a point and a little money towards running the podcast. So that would be an awesome thing.
And as usual, I'd like to thank our sponsors, TaintedVisionArt.com. I had a late breakfast with my man over there. We had a great time, Derek, and they got some great stuff. We're going to do a Valentine's Day special with them, and we're also going to do a raffle with them.
Okay.
I'll have all the information next week. I also want to give a shout out to NOCC for all your medical marijuana needs. You will not be seeing Ralphie May there. I want to give a shout out to Divine Wellness up the corner. They got the banana bread we always talk about. And I want to give a shout out.
That's one of my big regrets. I put that on my regret list that I never had fucking banana bread. I wanted to put it in a toaster oven with that cannabis butter.
You can't do edible?
In the future.
No, in the future. In the future I can't. But right now I can't. But I want to put it in the toaster oven. Doesn't that sound good for breakfast? With a little cannabis butter right there.
Trust me, I did it. That's what fucked me up.
Oh my God.
That shit for breakfast.
Oh my God, it sounds great.
I love you, motherfuckers. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for Ralphie May. He'll be in Ontario Improv this week and stand up live in Phoenix, Arizona next week. Felicia, where are you going to be at the next 2 weeks, you sexy animal?
Well, I'm going to be in San Antonio from the 14th through the 19th
Valentine's
of
Day
February.
weekend.
And then after that, I'm going to be in San Diego.
At the Madhouse Comedy Club.
At the Madhouse Comedy Club. So hope to see some of you guys out there.
And thank you for purchasing the CD on Payloads. You made it #1 on Payloads. I love you, motherfuckers. Have a great week. Stay black. I love you, Ralphie May and Felicia. Mwah.
Mwah.
Throw a kiss, Ralphie.
Mwah.
All right.